trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just takes a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
Floyd Mayweather visited Shakur Stevenson's training camp ahead of his fight with Teofimo Lopez. He praised Shakur, calling him the best fighter in his weight class. Mayweather also promised to share his knowledge, helping Shakur sharpen his skills, continue improving, and reach new heights in his boxing career.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want and make the fights happen.
Shakur Stevenson is putting in intense work at his training camp, focusing on every aspect of his game ahead of the Teofimo Lopez fight. He sharpens his speed, footwork, and defensive skills while refining combinations and ring strategy. Each session pushes him to his limits, building sharper reflexes and stronger endurance. The focus, discipline, and dedication on display show that Shakur is fully committed to dominating on fight night.
They're on my way. Did you sleep yet? And next thing you know, if you wake up, this thing will
Shakur Stevenson is determined to prove himself to anyone who still doubts him. Despite his accomplishments, he remains motivated to show critics and fans alike that he is truly an elite fighter. Every bout is an opportunity to silence doubt and reinforce his status as one of boxing's top talents.
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like, I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just takes a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur Stevenson discussed his upcoming fight with Teofimo Lopez and addressed his critics with confidence. He stated that Lopez has never faced an opponent at his level and believes he will test him in ways no one else has. Shakur also commented on how Lopez would struggle against elite fighters like Terence Crawford, suggesting he would likely be overpowered. While acknowledging Lopez's skill, Shakur made it clear that he does not place him on Crawford's level. He also spoke about his promotional situation, explaining that although he had considered leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn is now involved, providing strong support and structure for this high-profile matchup. This highlights how seriously Shakur is taking both his preparation and the business side of the sport.
Ooh, I mean, that's their opinion. Like, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not going to say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems like. I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on his card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point, your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No. Me and my manager,
Analysts have closely examined the matchup, highlighting both fighters' strengths and vulnerabilities. One of the most critical points identified is Lopez's difficulty with movement. While Teofimo is explosive, athletic, and capable of overwhelming opponents with power, he often struggles against fighters who move fluidly and force constant adjustments. This challenge becomes especially significant against Stevenson, whose footwork, timing, and patience allow him to frustrate and control aggressive opponents. Respected analyst Bruce Carrington has noted that Stevenson's ability to maintain distance, shift angles, and place Lopez in uncomfortable positions could neutralize Lopez's offensive bursts and leave him open to precise counterpunching. Lopez thrives when he can impose his will and fight on his own terms, but Stevenson presents a challenge unlike many he has faced. Stevenson's defensive awareness, combined with his ability to control range and change rhythm, limits Lopez's chances to land clean shots. The general analytical consensus is that Lopez's explosiveness alone will not be enough. He must adjust strategically, remain patient, and choose his moments carefully. Failing to do so could allow Stevenson to dictate the pace and capitalize on mistakes. This reinforces a key theme of the matchup. Stevenson's technical skill may neutralize Lopez's raw athleticism.
Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. So I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of that approach of the fight, nah. Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
Another perspective suggests that Lopez performs best when facing elite level competition, as his ceiling rises with the quality of his opponent. Against a fighter like Stevenson, Lopez is forced to operate at his highest level, relying on sharp reflexes, timing, and ring intelligence. This fight is not solely about physical strength or power. It is a test of mental sharpness and adaptability. Analysts believe Lopez can rise to the occasion, but only if he maintains discipline, controls his aggression, and avoids predictable patterns that Stevenson can exploit. In this sense, the matchup represents a classic clash between raw talent and tactical mastery. Shakur Stevenson's speed is another critical factor that cannot be overlooked. Observers have noted that his speed functions as a form of power, with punches arriving faster than opponents can react. Even subtle shots become effective due to their timing and velocity. Veteran analyst Andis points out that many fighters struggle to anticipate Stevenson's attacks, which could prove decisive against Lopez. By combining speed with precision, Stevenson is able to control exchanges, dictate the rhythm of the fight, and punish mistakes, giving him a clear tactical edge.
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring. But I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". I mean, these are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a serious